All right. So we've done over 100 videos now, and they've really been focused on love. And some of these next ones, we're going to focus on war and with love, obviously, but we need to fight some ideologies that are just really inappropriate. And, I find it kind of funny. I didn't know this reggae band that I chose. I think they're called The Rise. And the song I chose, Better Man, I'm just a reggae head and mostly Jamaican reggae, but I am from California, Long Beach, grew up with Sublime Boys and all that. So I love all kinds of reggae, California reggae, they call it now too. But, and the Hawaiian music and all of it. So I saw reggae in like Bali and all kinds of places, man. And so it's amazing how much reggae has influenced the world, Bob Marley especially. But their album is called Love and War. And I just chose the song because the lyrics were exactly perfect to what I wanted to say. But I find it really funny that it's love and war and that we need both. We have to be warriors. I talked about, if you say you're a lover, not a fighter, you're neither. Because Michael Hamalach, Michael, the angel, is the greatest warrior, and he's chesed is his function, which is loving kindness. Mom bears are the toughest, right? And so it needs to be love and war, and we're going to focus on that. So, you know, it's easy getting conspiracies, and I don't even know how many people are actually watching, how many are bots, putting up content. And so does YouTube throw up bots. I tried thanking everybody and try to encourage comments and got none. And so for the last cycle, so I don't even know how much any of this is even real, like honestly. But I'm doing this for posterity's sake, like I said, if nothing else. And I want to encourage these ideas and love in the world. But sometimes we got to go to war for the sake of love. Yeah, I think it's super important, and you got to sometimes be both. I think it was Miyamoto Musashi who said that there's, his disciple or somebody said, Master, you always talk about all these loving things and as a warrior, and here you are in a garden and being a gardener. And he says, well, it's better to be a warrior and a gardener in a garden than a gardener in a war. And so we need to be both. These are taking on some powerful forces, religions, and institutions that have a lot to lose and dehumanize a lot of people and could very well end up killing me. So I always would laugh as a kid saying, if I ever did spread my ideas and I do it right, they'll probably end up killing me or trying at least. We talked about men being killed because they lack honor. I hope my honor is strong enough and intact to avoid any of that. And it's done. This is all done with enough love that none of that should happen. But after 100 videos, I think it's time. I wanted to, as we take on some of these things, I want to show one, how much I love the Torah. I love Am Yisrael. I love all of it. And all the people out there seeking spirituality, even the Christians and Muslims and everybody in their own ways, those doing it right, those doing it wrong, whoever that is out there, or right and wrong are such relative, interesting terms. But, I talked about it, how most times with spirituality, it's just good people trying to be better. So the majority of people you're around are good people. They're still like wolves in sheep clothing, I like to say. But they're still mostly good people. And so I want to say to my daughter, most importantly, how much I love you. Your Abba will always love you, and I will always be with you in spirit, if, even should my flesh fail. And listen to what I put down here so that you can be strong, and it's going to be you. Children are the engine of the world. You guys are the ones that can make all the change. And youth is very often wasted on the young. So go forth, make a better world. If we should fail, I we have to take it on our shoulders. But if we should fail, it's going to be up to you. Don't give up. Be honorable. Be good. And for women, chastity is a big thing. I know it's not as much for men, but it should be in true spiritual practices. No whoopee without the whoopee, and no. But the women who have stayed chaste, even in high school, I remember like they had a power about them, a glow that the other girls didn't have. So be a good girl. And money, I feel like money is a men's version of prostitution, and then going out there and just seeking after it. But it's all just in the end selling our time and ourselves for money. And so we need it, but don't make it everything. Money, fame, all those are fleeting. We can take nothing with us in the end. There's a great story of a wealthy man whose kids were all fighting, Jewish man, and all his kids were fighting over the inheritance. And so he said, listen, I have a pair of lucky socks. Whichever one of you can bury me in my lucky socks will get my inheritance. And so they all went to the rabbi. Sons would each go all the time, and his daughter would all go. And, Rabbi, you have to bury him in his socks when he finally passed. And the rabbi's like, we can't. You can't. He's going to be buried in a Jewish cemetery, and he can't. He's going to be just like he came into this world with nothing. And they would try, and they got lawyers, and they eventually tried everything they could. And after he was buried in just a shroud, they received a letter from him and said, my children, I know you tried. I'm sure you tried with all your might to bury me in my lucky socks so that you can receive the inheritance. I saw how much you guys all wanted it. But I want this to be an example to you that in the end, we can take nothing with us, not even a pair of socks. We come into this world with nothing but ourselves, and we leave this world the same. So don't make it your everything. Your honor comes first. Your love of family and of the world, comes first. Those are the things that you'll take with you. It's not what you've gained that you'll take, but what you give in this life. So remember that, my dear. I love you so much, and I fought so hard. I'm sorry as you were a baby I wasn't able to get here, and I was trying to open businesses in America, and it was really hard. Your mom kind of duped me. She said she was religious and she wasn't. I just wanted a partner. I'm so happy I have you, but I was on the fence about kids. I said I only wanted kids if they were going to be raised Jewish, but I'm a religious woman. So they have the Jewish religious community to support them and to teach them what's right and have no intermediaries between God. I wanted you to be always in touch with that. And your mom said she was religious, used to be like Chabadnik. I met her in LA. She wasn't. And it's been hard. She basically tried to make me homeless when I was here. She lied about another man who she later told me was the love of her life, who told her he was much older than she was, 50 or 60. She was in her 20s. And he said to go have kids and come back to him. And that's when she met me. And so I gave her everything I could my all the money I'd saved for my patent. That was like the one time in my life I was making a lot of money. And she said I gave more than he ever did, the rich man ever did. And I came here, and she wasn't religious at all. In fact, she rejected religion in every respect. And basically, at the end, she wouldn't even let me keep my apartment. She said, "I want you on the street." And then it happened that your grandma got sick and told me to come back. So I tried to come back. I didn't even have the money. I told her I love her, goodbye. And then my old boss, who was my business partner too called, said they'd sold the business and the new people wanted me to run it for them, and they would fly me out. And so that's how I got back to LA. And at that point, it was like, how do I come back? I have nothing to, like, she's going to make me homeless. It was insane. So I tried to create businesses. We were going to bring you out, both of you, but your mom's like, I'm just going to run away. We're in Tahoe. She's like, I'm just going to run away to LA and live in the valley with her, my gay cousin. And so I just continued to try to make the businesses. It was in like CBD and cannabis, and the market crashed and went legal, and the market crashed. I lost everything in that. And it was brutal. And then I tried to open a farm for you, and I was going to get you ponies, and it was like 600 fruit trees and 5 acres, and grapes and walnuts and apricots, pomegranates, peaches, plums, nectarines. Amazing. Just an amazing farm. I had chickens. And then COVID hit. And there was no farmer's market to sell fruit to, no restaurants. It was brutal. I made wine and pies and preserves and did whatever I could with it, but wasn't enough. And then I was grinding at a spot called Home Depot and became a manager like pretty quick, like in 4 months. And but it wasn't enough until I was like a store manager, regional manager. I never would have made enough to be able to come to Israel and see you. So I ended up selling my car, quitting my job. I had a back injury, and I came out here, and then was going to move back out, and the war started. So I came out early, and it's been nothing but hell. Your mom won't help me, and I'm living in the back here, but I love you, and I'm here, and you're not going to remember those years anyway. I missed out on all those cute little baby years. It's just all photos for me and phone calls. But I was here, and I listen to the booms every night, but I love you, and I will fight to the death for you. But if this should get me into trouble with these large institutions, then know that I love you, and I will always do my best for you. And I'm trying. I was never a big money maker, and it never was a big thing for me. Now I try a lot harder because of you, but it's still not something I'm practiced at. So forgive me, but you know how much I love you, and I want to do some videos with you too, just us, and post them so that you always have them. Maybe on this account, maybe on another. I don't know yet. But yeah, so I love you, my dearest, and little shmunchi capachunchi, my sweetheart, my little angel. And so Abba loves you, and but Abba's got to go to war too over these ideologies that are holding humanity back. And I've studied them enough, and we'll talk about it. So I just want to put that out there. And as I've gone over 100 now, that how much these changes need to be made if we're going to save the humans. And that's always been your dad's focus. And if I can offer one bit of advice, always give when people ask it. I made a mistake here one time when I had like literally no money. Your mom just had kicked me out. I was living in this apartment. She didn't even give me time to clean it. And I was like, I almost got an eye infection and a sinus infection the first night. And it was insane. I had to clean this place top to bottom uh, as soon as my money ran. And I came with quite a few $1,000s in credit cards and cash and the whole thing. And she won't help me. She's like, I'll help you, I won't help you. I'll help you, I won't help you. But what I'm going to talk about now is why I didn't convert back. And so, my family, I'm pretty sure, and it goes mom. We converted from Judaism at some point. I have Ashkenaz DNA, and your aunt, who also did the same genetic thing, has twice as much as me. And so it goes back to exactly the generation that I saw in the dream and the vision. And you're from a line of dreamers we talked about. I've told you before, but your great grandma and your grandma, crazy dreamers. They always have like insane visions and dreams, and they always seem to come true. And I too dream insane dreams. Here it's been so intense, but even leading up to here, every night super intense. So, and a lot of what I've seen are like in dreams and visions turn out to be accurate. Like later on, rabbis would tell me, "Oh, like some great rabbi said this or that." So, I don't know, but I want you to know that listen to your intuition and dreams. And one thing, tzedakah, give. There was one lady right when I got kicked out, and I had like no money left, 100 shekels left to my name. I'd gone to Jerusalem, give like last of my money, bought gifts. Some person from Ramallah charged my card, overdrew me. Now my account's closed, but buying gifts for people. They're all hurting, all the tourist traps and in the old city, but somebody ripped me off, and I had nothing, and I didn't give, and it haunts me. But always give. You never know when it's an angel. And tzedakah has always been like a shield for me. I feel like I've always been taken care of, and in so many ways. And hopefully, if I have time, I'll get to those stories too. But I want you to know how much I love you. And I think it's all going to work out. And this is probably all just being dramatic, but you never know. These are powerful forces, and I'm hanging on by a thread here. So I just want you to know that, because these are all for you, really. Like, I kind of got sidetracked and trying to build something hopefully for you, but in the end, they're really just for you. And if they could profit me in some way for you, that would be great. But they were always for you. So I love you. I love you. I love you. You're the most important thing in my life. And always be strong and know how much I will always be with you and love you. And we always have such a great time. It's always so fun with you, and you're a little character, so much like me. Love all the same food, and even all these years apart, you still love like all my favorite foods are your favorite foods. And then the cottage cheese, your grandma lives on cottage cheese, and that's like your favorite thing in the world. It's so weird, genetics. But anyway, I love you, my dearest. And but it's time for Abba to go to war against some of these things. Always, love is our greatest weapon. Honor is our armor and our shield. And always be there, and in that state of mind in everything you do. Try your hardest. It's hard. The world's becoming more hateful every day. So, but I want you to know, and if my honor should fail me now, and something should happen to me, and I have no net even to go back to. I've sacrificed so much for family. Being religious, I spent all my time the last 30 years with blacks and Jews because they were so hated, I feel like, in the world. And I wanted to get to know them so that I could, well, Torah always called me, but I wanted to get to know them because I felt like, they hated me in Hawaii just for being blonde hair and blue eyes. So, and they didn't even know me. So maybe people just don't know these people, and they are just full of hate. And so I spent all this time getting to know him. And these are the things I learned, for good or for bad. And we're going to address them now. So all of these 100 videos to this point were the primer to show my mindset and also how much I've studied. So I'm not just saying, and this is like, I can make 1,000 of these videos. And this is just a drop in the bucket. Every time I make videos, I come up with 10 more that should be made. And, but these are just the primer to show how much I care, how much I love Torah and Israel. But changes need to be made, not just with us, but with all kinds of different things. So I just want to put that out there. And I love you, my dear. And my blessing for you and for everybody is to be strong through it all and give freely, lovingly. Your mom always yelled at me for like tzedakah. I give tzedakah, and tips and just everything. Every chance you get to give, give. You can take nothing with you, and it'll protect you. It'll always come back to you. In my darkest times, it always seems like it's come back to me. And so, do the same, and be loving, be honorable, be just, be merciful, be kind, and your Abba is with you always. And I make this deal with you now that they say if you make a deal, even in Torah, they say if you make a deal with somebody, that you can come back and talk to them. So even if I should perish, or when I do eventually, that if you call on me, 3 times I give it. If I can do that, I don't know if it's just once or how many times you can do it, but 3 times I'll come back and try to answer any questions or do anything, comfort you, do whatever I can, so that here and life ever after, I will always be there for you the best I can. And I'm sorry for any shortcomings I have. It takes a village to raise a child, in that I have my good qualities and bad qualities, and to see everyone's good qualities, you got to meet the whole village. So take from everybody and the good and the things that work, and get rid of the bad things from everyone you meet, every family member, right? I love you, and these are the blessings I wish for you and for everybody. And let's do this. Save the humans.